This is going to be a very quick and to the point news update regarding the sequel to Stellar Blade. Now, Stellar Blade was obviously one of my games of the year when it came out. I talked about it on this channel a lot. I still have kept talking about it off and on. So it's a game that I'm passionate about. I think it was unfairly judged when it was going to be coming out, and I think it proved a lot of people wrong. It was super successful. A lot of the people who played it liked it. It came to PC. It was also super successful. And Shift Up had previously said that they were grateful for the support, said that they were committed to making more Stellar Blade and fleshing out the universe. So we knew that there was going to be more, but on November 21st of 2025, the day before I recorded this, Shift Up CEO Kim Hyung-tae announced that it is conducting, or that Shift Up is conducting a large-scale open recruitment to develop the next installment of Stellar Blade. So there's a couple things to talk about here. There is more news on that, but I do have a question of the day real quick for you as always, which is there anything you want to see in the second game? I personally really loved the first game. I thought the story was good. I think a lot of people said that they thought the weakest part was the story and they wanted it to go a little deeper next time. I thought there was a lot of deep stuff in the lore that you find with, data pads and things like that, but I do think that they could go further in on the lore of that world and the storytelling. So what would you think about that? I mean, what do you want to see? With this though, their recruitment is going to be year-round. There's essentially no separate deadline. It's starting right now, and they're going to recruit individuals in all these different fields, and this is something very interesting to me. So they want 3D background artists, character artists, concept artists, monster battle designers for PC, level designers, system designers, a scenario writer, so they're bringing in more writers, technical artists, engine programmers, client programmers, composers, and more. So it's pretty much everything across the board, which is, to me, telling me that Shift Up is getting bigger, which makes sense. This company was so successful with Stellar Blade, they were able to give bonuses multiple times to their employees. I believe they bought them pretty much all like a PS5, they bought them all a Nintendo Switch 2 or something like that. Very generous, and in general, Kim Hyung-tae has been a very generous and nice CEO of Shift Up, who has listened to fan feedback, I would say for the most part through social media, and did reaffirm that they were trying to work more on the story previously. So what's interesting about this is they said that they want talented individuals that are going to collaborate on the next generation multi-platform action game, saying we welcome the active support of individuals who will once again surprise gamers around the world with new technologies and creative endeavors. And it is important that they're bringing in people from pretty much every field here, or every position in terms of Shift Up, because usually between games you lose some people. You don't usually lose enough people to hire in every single possible position like this. And I guess I'm sure there's more positions than this, but this is a lot. It's very broad. So that's already a good thing. We have the basically reaffirmation that they're going to be working harder on the story, getting a new scenario writer, things like that. They also said that it is the next installment in the Stellar Blade franchise, which again confirms they are viewing this as a franchise now, not as a one and done, probably not even as a two and done, that this is a world that they are trying to develop. And I'm thinking it's going to be similar, especially because of the very clear inspiration from Yoko Taro's Nier. It's going to be similar to that universe in terms of multiple games, etc. They said that it is currently under development. It is a AAA multi-platform action game. It will expand on the world view of Stellar Blade and aims for release on various platforms, including console and PC. It will inherit the previous stylish action and narrative-driven worldview from the predecessor, delivering an evolved action experience. Now, there is a very important part of this as well, because it was clarified, essentially, that it is going to be on Unreal Engine 5. Now, this is the only piece of news so far for me that I am a little skeptical on. And hear me out. It is not to say that there are not good Unreal Engine 5 games, but you have to understand that video game engines do actually really affect a lot of things, and Stellar Blade's original game ran very smoothly. It was very, very optimized, I would say, for the most part. The things that weren't optimized were quickly fixed, and it was on Unreal Engine 4. Now, what have we seen out of Unreal Engine 5 since its inception? We've seen really cool visuals, and very few games that are able to optimize their game on Unreal Engine 5. Very few that are able to hit high frame rates, very few that don't have technical difficulties, lots of bugs, things like that. Now, is it possible that this will mean nothing? Yes. I mean, I don't want to fearmonger with the game. You know, I'm not working on the game, obviously. It's just something I've seen as someone who's in this space, really enjoys video games, things like that. A lot of companies have had issues with Unreal Engine 5. That is like the only thing, looking at this, that I'm kind of like, okay, really hope that they get that stable. Because if you went from Stellar Blade 1, that kind of buttery smooth action gameplay combat, to Stellar Blade 2, and it had a better story, but it was way less smooth, you know, or more janky, lower frame rate, things like that, I just think that would kind of be a bummer. So I really hope that means nothing. I also understand that at the end of the day, as technology advances, especially when you're a big company, you kind of need to advance with it. So they probably don't want to be 2 or 3 games out and stuck on an old engine that doesn't have any support, things like that. I get it, especially because Project Eve was in development for many years. But my fingers are crossed on that it will mean nothing negative. I'm interested in your thoughts down below. Overall, I think this is very good news. They're expanding the company. They're expanding the scope of the game very clearly. It seems like it's going to be bigger. They're expanding the scope of the story. It seems it's going to be deeper. And they are committed to delivering a game that is going to be a worthy sequel of what was one of my games of the year that came out. So I am excited. Interested in your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed this video, there's always many ways you can support our channel. We do have things like a Fortnite code. That's DJAY123. That always helps us out a lot, those of you who are into games like that. Also, as well, we have our own store, cosmobunny.shop. Now you might wonder, what is cosmobunny.shop? Well, this is a store where we sell one-of-a-kind items for one-of-a-kind people like you. We got coasters, keychains, trays, and more. And you might look at this and say, what do you guys, print images, stuff like that? Nope. What we do is we take books that have been damaged. So these are books that cannot be sold, or they have to be sold dirt cheap on clearance. A lot of times they're thrown away and into landfills. We save some of that paper, we transformatively use it in a new piece of art, creating something new out of something old using resin. Then we recycle the rest. Now, discount code DJAY123 gets you 10% off your first purchase over there. We hope to see you. Also, if you're interested in more Stellar Blade content, there's a bunch more on this channel. I have a full playlist of Stellar Blade stuff, and I cover all kinds of varieties of RPGs here on JRPG. Thank you very much. And, oh, one last thing. We did play through Stellar Blade over on our other channel, Degenerate Plays, which is a podcast-style Let's Play channel. So, ever interested in more Stellar Blade? There's more here, more over there, and we'll see you in the next one.